Well, first and foremost, I want to say that I'm very honored and privileged to be the chairman of the Massachusetts Credit Union Social Responsibility Committee. And our main focus is to raise much needed funds for the Massachusetts Coalition for the Homeless. Giving back to the community has always been a big part of my life, and I think that's what drew me to the credit union industry from the beginning. And you know, the motto of people helping people has always been a big part of my life, and it's a big part of what the coalition is all about as well. It has been said that the average age of a homeless person in Massachusetts is 6 years old. And at Hanscom Federal Credit Union, we have decided to focus on children, and therefore we participate in the Children's Book Drive, and we also participate in the Bed for Every Child program. It's hard to believe that something as simple as a book and as basic as a bed, children are growing up without. And therefore, we've focused our efforts in that area. And you know, whenever I talk about fundraising at Hanscom Federal Credit Union, I'm drawn to a famous quote by Winston Churchill. And it says this: "You make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give." And for every $250 that we raise, we can buy a bed for that child to make his life come true.
Our Walk Home event happens every June, and it's a 5K walk, about 3 miles, that takes place in 3 walk locations, and those locations are 3 branch locations of ours, so we're connected in those local communities. In the Danvers area at the rail trail, and in Dorchester at Dorchester Park, and in Waltham around the Waltham Common, and loops around a bit through the Riverwalk. And we are a walk that is raising funds for Mass Coalition for the Homeless, for homeless teens and families. The walk takes place every year. We've done it for 6 years in June, and we gather over 100 people at the 3 walk locations, raising funds and awareness. Our first 5 years, we did kind of a quick look back, and we had raised $116,000 over the first 5 years. And this year we've raised close to $24,000. RTN is very, very committed to our social mission, our responsibility to help other people. It's one of the very special ways we are different from other kinds of financial institutions. And addressing homelessness and the Mass Coalition for the Homeless is a direct focus of our credit union and credit unions across Massachusetts to be able to help people. If you don't have stable housing, you're not going to be financially successful.
We are fortunate enough to live in a very wealthy state for the most part, and I don't believe any families or children should go homeless these days. Well, Freedom being member-owned, we have the opportunity to support various organizations. We've seen a lot of mergers in this market of banking institutions, and thus 1 + 1 no longer equals 2. 1 + 1 equals 1. So that organization does not continue to give at the level that it gave before. So we are now the largest financial institution headquartered in Springfield, Mass, and we believe we have the responsibility to give back and try to replace some of what's been lost through these mergers and acquisitions through many years here in town. I think it's the responsibility of all corporations to give back to the community. If the community was not here, we could not be here. So you need to support the organizations that make the whole community better.
You know, most of us have never experienced homelessness, and we don't know much about it. And it's something we can't even imagine. But I recently read an article that was published by the Massachusetts Coalition for the Homeless. And it had a quote in there from a person who actually became homeless during Hurricane Katrina. And here's what it said. It said, "Housing is a human right. There could be no fairness or justice in a society in which some live in homelessness or in the shadow of that risk, while others cannot even imagine it."